Hey, welcome, veterans. Wednesday afternoon. Stacey Allen, along with Coach Cassie Allen, here with me. How you doing, Cass?
Hey everybody, how you doing? Doing well. Excited to talk with everybody and jump into some stuff that can maybe help you out throughout your process.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we're waiting on the room to fill up here a little bit, go ahead and jump over in the comments. Let us know who you are, where you're calling in from, branch that you served in, years that you served. Let us know a little bit about you. Appreciate that, John. We are going to let it flow today. We are talking about IBS. Good one. Love that.
Limited puns, please.
I have a feeling there's gonna be piles of puns today. Oh, there was another one. All right, Don, USMC, SoCal.
Thanks for joining us.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome. Absolutely.
We have Chuck Day coming in. USMC 66 to 80 from Oceanside. Nice to see you.
Here we go. Lots of people coming in. Michelle, Michael, Philip. Welcome. Glad everybody's here today. So again, we're going to be talking about IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome. It affects a lot of people, a lot of veterans in different ways. And we're going to do somewhat of a deep dive into that and talk about service connections and ratings and all that stuff. Manuel, welcome, my friend, U.S. Army retired. And Derek, hoorah.
Steve.
All right, so as people are coming in, Cass, why don't you let us know a little bit about you?
Yeah, so my name is Cassie. I'm a coach here for VACI over a year now, and I've just had the pleasure of working alongside other coaches and, working with veterans through their claims process. It's been a blessing for me. It's very, humbling work, of course, because we do have a lot of success and we are able to help veterans with their success in their claims process. So I'm just happy to be here. Of course, I'm not a veteran myself. I learned about it through you, Stacey Allen. Of course, it's my father, and he told me a little bit about what he was doing, and it was intriguing for me because I didn't know anything about it. Of course, me not being a veteran, I didn't even know how difficult it was to file claims and go through all that. So it's been exciting. It's been fun, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, and Cass, you're doing a phenomenal job, changing lives every day. So we see it. So a little bit about me. I am a Gulf War vet. I served in the Army from 87 to 93, Gulf War vet. And after my stint in the Army, I went into federal law enforcement, actually in a medical field in the law enforcement community. And I dealt with some issues, and I'll come out and say it now. I dealt with IBS for years and years and never even realized that it was potentially due to my service until I was talking to a coworker of mine in 2017. So 24 years after I got out of the military, I filed my first claim for IBS. That was my first claim I'd ever filed, and it was a presumptive condition. And we'll get into that a little bit more as we dig into this. But suffice it to say that was the start of my journey in my claims process. And so I've learned a lot, and I want to pass that on to everybody here. All right. Lots and lots of people in here, man. Ricky Dowdy, U.S. Marines. Good to see you.
Brian, U.S. Army. Thanks for your service.
Okay. Holy moly, lots of people in here today. That's great.
Yeah. I guess before we do it a little bit, we can talk about, what we do, VACI's elite program, and kind of what that covers. In general, we talk about strategy. We talk about education and medical evidence, making sure you have everything that you need to file a successful claim. When you join into the Elite Service Program, you get a coach. So you get that one-on-one coaching, which is great. We go over your situation and what's going to be best for your claims process, as well as maybe helping you walking through a successful claim submission, making sure you have everything you need for that. And then the most important part a lot of times is that CMP prep. So if you ever want to join in with that or see what the coaching process is like, join up VAClaimsInsider.com Elite membership. We're happy to see how we can work through it with you.
Yeah, great stuff. And you know, a lot of times, you know, we've been doing this for quite a while, and we'll use acronyms and you know, 3-letter words and that kind of stuff that maybe some of you new to this process don't even know. Cassie just mentioned CNP prep. What is that? So it's CNP stands for compensation and pension. So it's an exam that the VA will likely order on you after you have filed a claim. So and she was right on point. By preparation for that exam is key. It's key to winning that claim. So, and that's what we help you do in that Elite program. So if you're ready to go, the link is there on the screen, VAClaimsinsider.com/elite-membership, and we will get you assigned to a coach and get you moving forward. So what other things do we do in our Elite program, Cass? The live classes, I know, along with this Wednesday live class that we do on Facebook, we also have classes solely for our Elite members. You want to touch on a few of those that we offer?
Yeah, so I always say that it's kind of double part. You get a one-on-one coach, but you also get a slew of educational materials that are going to help you. And a lot of that is our live classes. We host them, 3 times a day, Monday through Friday. There's a Saturday class, usually, sometimes not all the time. And one of the main ones that I think a lot of people get the most out of is Coffee with the Coaches. It's a daily one every morning. And if you're just looking for some community, looking for some knowledge nuggets, that's a great place to go. Come in every day. And it's one of the best parts about the Elite program that I think, and ask a lot of the veterans that have used our program, I think they'd say the same.
I'll have to say, even a little deeper on that Coffee with the Coaches, for a lot of us, including myself, that's my daily therapy. That is my way to start the day. It is absolutely phenomenal. And for those of you that remember hanging out before formation, right, and yucking it up with your buddies, that's kind of what Coffee with the Coaches is. We hang out, we have fun, but we also we share success, we share failures, and we share knowledge. So it's a great way to start the day if you can attend that. All right. So what if you want to learn a little bit more about this, not ready to make the jump into membership? We do offer a free 30-minute discovery call, and that link is on the screen now, vacifree30.com. And you'll be scheduled to talk with one of our teammates about how our program may be able to help you in that process. So feel free to jump over there and get scheduled with one of our teammates and learn more about it there. All right. So IBS.
It's a fun one.
It's a fun one, right? So irritable bowel syndrome, right? It's not a pleasant condition, and it manifests itself in a few different ways. The primary symptoms, I guess, is diarrhea and or constipation, along with distension or abdominal pain, and just that uncomfortableness, right? So what does it come from? It could come from a number of things. One of the things that we're going to talk about today is a presumptive condition for Gulf War vets. And when I say Gulf War, I'm talking about those veterans that have served in the Middle East between, I believe, September of 1990 to present. And right now, Congress has extended the date for that presumptive window I think, until December of 2026. Okay, so if you served in that region between those dates, you could qualify for this presumption if you have that diagnosis of IBS and meet that criteria. All right, so Cass, do you want to go over maybe some of the symptoms that people might experience with a potential IBS diagnosis, something that if they're dealing with it, they may want to go see their doctor and get checked out?
So I would say a lot of it could be maybe consistent or inconsistent back and forth diarrhea or constipation, right? It doesn't always have to be one or the other. And then cramping, bloating, things like that. He talked about the abdominal distress. So those are the things that come along with that. If you're constantly feeling a full stomach, if you're constantly feeling that tight feeling, you know, and unfortunately I deal with it as well. I don't have the same go for situation, and we can kind of talk about other ways. You know, if you didn't serve in Southeast Asia and that presumptive doesn't fit for you, there's secondary pathways. A lot of times mental health, anxiety, those types of things can aggravate that. I know for me, even just before these lives, right, I get super anxious and that stirs my stomach up. I don't even have to use the bathroom, and sometimes I don't, but my stomach is stirred up, and that's a lot of part of it. Other things are medication you may be taking for mental health. And so we can talk more about that secondary pathway of if you already have a service-connected condition for anxiety, depression, PTSD, and you're taking medication for that, it could be an aggravating factor to your IBS symptoms. So look into that. And if you want to file a claim for it, you know, it's a matter of showing a diagnosis and showing your current service-connected condition, and then providing a link between those two, usually a medical link. So look into that, or sign up with a coach, sign up and see if we can walk you through making sure you have everything you need to have a successful claim.
Well, and you said something there that caught my ear, and you said it a couple times, and it's important to make that distinction. You mentioned a secondary claim, secondary to a mental health condition, right? And you said that anxiety can aggravate your IBS symptoms, but it can't cause it. It can't cause IBS, but it can certainly aggravate, and that's part of that what we call our Kaluza triangle. That's one of those points that you have to meet, that your condition was either caused by or made worse by, i.e. aggravated, by a service-connected disability. So for those out there that are looking to get a secondary service connection, look at that aggravation standpoint. Okay, so that was a great point to bring up. Let's pause for just a second. I'm seeing a lot of questions popping up already in the chat. Let me grab a couple here, and then we'll continue on our presentation. Let's see. Broke my leg. I have IBD, Crohn's disease.
This one might
Go ahead.
kind of go into our conversation really well. So Manuel Salazar, he said he's 0% for GERD and I want to increase it, right? We haven't really got a chance to talk about how do they rate IBS anyways. There are a lot of people that are underrated for conditions, and we can kind of go right into that now if it helps.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about the GERD and the IBS. So in fact, there's another question. Sean just asked, can IBS be secondary to GERD? So the way the CFRs, the Code of Federal Regulations, are written, GERD and IBS cannot be rated separately. They're both in the GI and the gastrointestinal tract. And even though they're at opposite ends of the body, the VA by law can't separate those conditions out from each other. So they would be a combined rating of GERD/IBS. Okay, so if you get with a coach, they can help suss that out with you, and maybe if you're dealing with both of those conditions, maybe help you go in the right direction, one or the other. Okay, and again, our link is up there, so sign up, get with a coach, and they can help you sort that out. Okay, so let's talk about some of the ratings for IBS. Cass, you want to hit that?
Yeah, so it's broken down, and honestly, it's pretty easy to understand, which is not all of the ratings as you look at. So for IBS, it's all based on severity and symptoms, and how often you're dealing with that. So when you're looking at the rating scale, it's going to be 0, 10, and 30%, and that's going to be based on moderate, mild, or severe symptoms. I might have said that backwards: mild, moderate, and severe symptoms, and then your frequency of them. And remember those symptoms we were talking about, the diarrhea, the abdominal distress, things like that. Let me see.
All right. Eric Baggett. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Iraqi war veteran, does PTSD affect or cause IBS, and can it be secondary to PTSD? So like we said earlier, a mental health condition will not cause IBS, but it can certainly aggravate it. But another point to your question there, to the what you wrote there in the comment, you're an Iraqi war veteran. So IBS is actually a presumptive condition. So what does that mean? That means you don't have to prove that something else caused it. You just have to show that, one, you have that diagnosis, and two, that you were in an area that's considered an area and time frame that's considered presumptive. Okay, so if you were in Iraq between 1990 and present, and you are diagnosed with IBS, then it's a pretty clear-cut case. Okay, there could be some things that might roadblock that a little bit, and again, your coach can help you sort through that. Okay. What else we got, Cass?
Let's see. So we talked about the presumptive aspect. We talked about the secondary aspect. I got down to my details here on the rating scale. I didn't want to be incorrect, but just to retouch on those. So 0% for IBS, it's going to be mild disturbances of bowel function with occasional episodes of abdominal distress. So occasional is that key word. That 10% is moderate with frequent episodes of bowel disturbance and abdominal distress. And then the more severe is going to be 30%, which you're dealing with alternating diarrhea or constipation, and more or less constant abdominal distress. So that constant and severe. And those are really big key factors on it when you're talking about symptoms and being able to explain yours so that you get rated where you should be.
So in the CFRs, in the Code of Federal Regulations, when it's talking about bowel disturbances, we're actually talking about constipation or diarrhea, right? So easy to understand there. And the abdominal distress, it goes back to that bloating and pain and things like that. So James lied. He wants everybody to know that Cassie is the best coach ever. And I agree.
Thanks for the shout out, James.
And toward the end of the presentation here, we'll actually be giving out our referral links. So if you want to sign up with either one of us directly, you certainly can. All right. What else we got? What is considered moderate? Okay, so that is from a Facebook user. What is considered moderate? So moderate is at that 10% level. There's not a definition of moderate when it comes to this, but if you have occasional episodes, okay, and again, occasional is not defined either, but it's really how you present your symptoms to a CMP examiner or to the VA if you're writing a statement. If I have diarrhea, every other week, that to me would be occasional. If I'm having it 2 or 3 times a week, that's pretty moderate, right? And if I'm having it all the time with constant abdominal distress, then that's severe, right? So I hope I answered that question.
And I'll go a little further too. When we're thinking about symptoms and all that, do your best to give some of those key numbers, like he said, once a week or twice a week, all the time. All of those are really key factors in making sure that you are rated where you should be.
All right. Derek Smith, Gulf War vet and was denied IBS. Derek, if you don't have a coach, you need to get signed up and get with one. If I'm your coach, I'm terribly sorry for just saying that.
Well,
No, but listen, like I said a few minutes ago, there could be a couple roadblocks in front of you if you are a Gulf War vet, and we would just have to kind of dig into the details and find out what's going on there. So again, you can sign up there, vaclaimsinsider.com/elite-membership, get you assigned with a coach and get that figured out for you. Okay. So, and understand this, if you're denied for a condition, this or any other condition, that doesn't mean that you're never going to get that service connected. Just is not right now. Right. So you just got to step back up to the plate with more evidence, potentially, or an argument that can overcome, that denial. But again, we can help you through that.
When you get signed up, just come with your decision letter and we'll find you the right path or figure out what you need to be successful.
Absolutely. So Ed Irvin is asking, does Vietnam have a presumption for IBS? Unfortunately, Ed, no, there is no presumption for IBS for Vietnam or Vietnam era veterans. However, like Cassie said at the top of the class here, there are many other conditions that could aggravate IBS. So if you have that diagnosis of IBS and you're service connected for something else, let's say a mental health, and you're taking medications, or even if you're not taking medications, like Cassie said, her anxiety goes through the roof before we get on these Facebook Lives, and her abdomen starts churning. So there are other ways to connect that other than presumption. Okay. All right. Facebook user, I was diagnosed with chronic mild gastritis. Is this along the same line as GERD and IBS? It is along the same line. So gastritis is typically an acute issue. Now, it does say chronic mild gastritis. So it is in that same family. It's obviously a different diagnosis. And I would recommend that you get with your doctor to dig into it a little bit more, if maybe that affects your IBS, or if you also have IBS along with those symptoms. All right. Cass, you got any questions over in there that you want to hit?
I was trying to find some questions, but I wasn't finding anything specific. What I was going to talk about, though, is just as you were talking about getting with your provider, we find a lot of times as coaches, we're working with veterans through their claims process. We want to file for condition they're dealing with, but they haven't been diagnosed, right? That's a lot of times the first place to start. So if you're just dealing with these things and you haven't talked to your doctor about it or anybody about it, because it's just, you don't go to the doctor unless you're dying, do that. Get in and talk to them about your symptoms so that it can be documented. That's just going to be one of the best things you can do.
And that goes to, our CEO and founder, Brian Reese. If you've watched any of his videos, you've probably heard his key phrase, get your butt to the doctor, right? So, and that's key, right? That diagnosis. So I mentioned earlier about the Kaluza triangle. Cass, do you mind explaining that and what that is and why that's important?
Yeah, so this goes for IBS claims or really any claims. The Kaluza triangle is going to talk about the 3 key things you need for a service connection, successful service connection in most cases. And so at the top of that triangle, or I might be not looking at the right image in my head, but the 3 pieces you need is first, that diagnosis, typically current or recent. And then you also want to have a link back to service, whether that's that presumptive link or a secondary link, something you're already service connected for. And then the third piece is a nexus. Sometimes you know what that is, sometimes you don't. The nexus really is a medical link, a medical opinion speaking to why those would be connected, why your IBS would be aggravated by your PTSD, right? So that's what you're going to need. You could take it a step further, of course, with VACI and our elite. We have we add a fourth component, which is being able to talk about your symptoms, being able to understand what you're going through, to vocalize it right. So those things are all really good key points to know.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Ronald Ferris put up a comment. He had diarrhea for 10 years. And after returning from the Gulf War, it finally stopped when he was treated for a snake bite with antibiotics. Wow. Ronald, you might be onto something there. Maybe you need to package that, right? So, well, congratulations on that. But that's actually a great point I'll touch on. Understand that if you don't currently have those symptoms or currently have that diagnosis, then it's not a disability, right? It's no longer disabling to you. So even though that you may have been diagnosed with it 10 years ago, you don't have a current diagnosis of it. And that's part of that Kaluza triangle that Cassie was just talking about, a current diagnosis. So, well, congratulations on getting that cure. So
sorry about the snake bite, though.
Right. All right. AK Wilson has a question here. I have the following at 30%. Can I still get secondary for IBS? Digestive issues with GERD, rated as digestive issues. So like we were saying earlier, the VA will very likely combine those ratings. So I don't know that you would get an increase or get a separate rating for that. Likely not. But could you get service connected for it? Yeah, probably. But does it help your overall rating? Probably not. Okay, but it could. It could. It just depends on how severe your conditions are. Maybe that GERD has increased, and that's on a different topic. GERD claims can go higher than that 30%. So hope that answers your question. Okay. David Kerner. The VA said I had IBS and then later said it was Crohn's. Okay. So Crohn's is not a presumptive condition. Does that mean that it cannot be service connected? Absolutely not. It certainly can be. That particular instance, I would say you would probably have to have been diagnosed with that while you were on active duty. So then, if you were diagnosed with IBS on active duty and then later they found it's not IBS, it's Crohn's, then you could probably get that service connected. But just knowing that little bit of your story, is probably not enough to give you a solid answer. But if you sign up and talk with one of our coaches, we can certainly do a deep dive into your records and see if we can help you there. Okay. So about our elite program, it is absolutely free to get started and talk with one of our coaches and see if there is a pathway for you to move forward in your disability claims process. There are actually most of our clients that come in, we will kind of break out and go through their records and talk with them, and then maybe put some things in front of them that they haven't even considered, things that they've been dealing with for years and years and have normalized it. It's like anything. When you live with something for so long, you tend to normalize it and say, well, that's just me. That's who I am. That's what I do. That's the way I feel. But when we deep dive into your issues a little bit, you might realize that some of the issues stem from your military service or from other service-connected disabilities. Okay, so and we have highly trained coaches that are able to help you through that and understand those things. Okay.
We have a good question here from Carlos Andrino, if I'm saying that right. He said, it's always hard to get a Nexus letter. How can you help, right? So that's so right. It is hard sometimes. And why is that? Maybe doctors don't understand it if they're civilian doctors. Maybe you only use the VA and they're just not willing to kind of do that. It crosses a line. It's hard to say. but we can help with that. And in a sense, sign up for our coaching. We'll be able to see first what Nexus letters you might need, because you don't want to just go getting ones that couldn't be helpful. And then two, we have a referral group of doctors that we can put you in contact with in order to obtain the Nexus letters that you need to file those claims. So that's the way that we can help, is that partner with doctors that are board certified. They understand what the VA is looking for, and they do a great job with Nexus letter services.
Yeah, fantastic. Good job. CJ Hernandez, OIF Army veteran. What anxiety and depression medications could aggravate IBS? That's going to be a long list, my friend, and that's going to be a little deeper than what we're going to go on this presentation. But no, I'm reading your comment here. I was given this disability, but no sign in the medical records of IBS. Could we still start this claim without it? We could start the claim for sure. And the start of this claim would start with your diagnosis. So you would need evaluation and diagnosis for that IBS. And you can do that through your own private doctor. And again, Telemedica can actually do evaluations for IBS as well. So hope that answers your question. But again, we could certainly start moving forward with that claim if you believe that you have that condition, and then eventually get that diagnosis. And I apologize to some of you if we're not hitting your questions here on this presentation. There are a lot of questions in the chat, so unfortunately, we're probably going to miss some. But jump on this website here, vacifree30.com, and they'll get you set up for a half an hour consultation with one of our teammates, and you can talk one-on-one for half an hour about your issues and about how we may be able to help you. Okay. And also, I do believe as this gets posted to the Facebook, our coaches and other teammates will be going in there answering some of these other questions on Facebook that we're not able to get to today. Okay. All right. What else we got?
Looking to see if we have any other good questions here in the chat. Michael says, do I need a medical proof prior to getting a Nexus? And of course, like we said, getting the diagnosis when filing a claim for any condition is really going to be your first step. So start by getting in there, talking to a doctor about your symptoms to get that medically documented.
So we talked a little bit earlier about how IBS could be a secondary condition to other things. What about secondary conditions to IBS? Are there any of those?
There definitely could be. I mean, it's silly to think about it, and maybe not silly, but you can flip it, right? We talked about a lot of mental health aggravating IBS, but it could be the other way around. If you already have established and severe IBS, in some ways that really can affect your mental health if you're being real about it. If you have to carry extra clothes with you because you're going to have an inevitable accident, that's going to affect your mood, right? It's going to affect how you can function throughout your daily life. So that's one of them. What are some other?
And you actually mentioned two of them. So that's a great point. So affecting your mental health, because and carrying those extra clothes with you because you may have an accident. Well, if that accident happens, that's actually a separate claim from IBS, right? So there are a lot of things that this IBS diagnosis and service connection could help you with in your claim journey, either secondaries from that or secondaries because of that, right? So great points. Okay. Let's see here. Thanks to the antibiotics, was on Cipro that seemed to cure the diarrhea. Okay, Ronald, great, good job. Let's pull up David Cotter. He was Army from 84 to 08, Iraq, currently 90%. I was denied asthma and allergic rhinitis. Now it's a presumptive condition. I have other conditions that have manifested secondary to conditions. Now what? Well, first of all, get signed up with us, Donald. Come on, let's go. We can certainly take a look and see what you got going on. I will tell you, if you were denied asthma and allergic rhinitis prior to the VA changing that to a presumptive condition for you, then you would file a supplemental claim. Now, there are some caveats to that. I know there's a 10-year presumptive window following your service. So there are some things to suss out on that. And I would advise either sign up for that 30-minute call or just go ahead and sign up with us, get assigned a coach, and let's dig into your medical records and other service treatment records and see what's going on. Happy to help you there, sir.
Let's see. Steve Larson, congratulations on your 20 to 90%. That's great. Success here with Coach Daryl. Let's see here.
And for those of you that may not know, we are called VA Claims Insider for a reason. So actually, Daryl was a senior rater for the VA for years. And we have other former VA employees that are working here at VA Claims Insider now, and we obviously have our contacts, right? So we stay informed on what's going on there at the VA, and pass that knowledge on to our clients. All right, let's jump on another one. Steve Larson. Oh, thank you, especially at Telemedica, IBS diagnosing. Oh, did you just mention that? Oh, you just got it. So yeah, congrats on that, Steve. 20 to 90, that's huge. That's life-changing. All right. Beverly List. Stacey is an amazing coach. Hey, we're done. I think that's good. Y'all have a great day.
End on that note.
We'll end on that note. No, thank you, Beverly. I appreciate that. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. All the coaches are absolutely amazing. We do this because we have a heart to help veterans. Many of us, including myself, are disabled veterans, and many of us are non-veterans, like Cassie here. But man, she has a heart to help veterans. So, as well as all of our non-veteran coaches. So you can't go wrong here. So. If you have any questions at all about your VA claim process, get on board with us. We'll get you assigned a coach, and again, there's no obligation. It's free to get started, and yeah, let's get you what you got coming.
If you're teetering on the fence, just thinking, I don't know, should I sign up? Should I ask a question? Just go ahead and do it. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. If anything, you'll learn something. And then if it's not for you, it's not for you. But give it a try. Give us a call. And we're happy to point you in the right direction.
Yeah. Real DeVico. Disabled American Veterans, DAV has my case. Can you guys take over? So that's a great question. Great question. So we won't take over. There's no reason why you can't have both, right? So the DAV is a VSO, a lot of three-letter acronyms here. So they're a veteran service organization. They can actually help you file your claim. That's not what we do. Okay, so what we do is coaching and consulting and showing you the pathways, right, that are available to you. You have to do the work, okay? The DAV does the work for you. We come from the standpoint of nobody should care more about your claim than you, right? You should own it. You should understand what's happening in your claim. So we arm you with that knowledge and strategy and just get you through this process to where you can own your claim, okay? All right. Steve Rogers, is it possible to receive a rating for my issues? Well, unless I missed something up higher, Steve, in the.
I think there's a comment up above about 1136. Started having pain and discomfort sometime around 1982. chronic pain on the left side with slight swelling, morning bowel movement back to back at least 3 times, years of complaining, and finally a CAT scan was ordered, which cancer was detected in the right kidney, 2003 to 2004, still having discomfort to this day. So it is a lot of details. You can be rated for cancer, but it just depends, right? You still have to have that link or nexus back to service or to a secondary service-connected condition you already have. It would be a lot to dig into, but it's worth doing that. If you can, though, I would suggest getting signed up with a coach. It's hard to dig into it all right now with the details, but I'm sure there's a pathway and a rating that's there. It's just a matter of figuring out if we need to do the cancer or the IBS if you're still having those symptoms.
All right. Got a Facebook user. I know you tried to reach out to us. We're going to, if we can get your name, Facebook user that just posted, if we get your name, we will reach out to you. And I'm sorry we didn't connect the last time. So, all right. Let's see. Beverly, I've been a member for about 6 weeks and join in whenever I can for all the trainings. This is the first time I've heard Cassie, and that's how many fabulous coaches they have. Yeah. So we have quite a few coaches, and they are all fabulous. Thank you again, Beverly. We appreciate that. All right, we've got a few more minutes with everyone. Yeah, throw out your questions here for us. Comments, concerns. We're happy to address whatever you have.
And if you missed it earlier, if you're just kind of tuning in a little bit later, we talked about just an overview of what is entailed with a VACI membership, what happens when you sign up with a coach. So we can talk a little bit about that while we're waiting for your questions to come in. So just as a reminder, when you sign up with VACI, you're going to be able to talk with a coach one-on-one to work through your strategy, best practices for claim submission, and preparation for those compensation and pension exams once your claims are filed. So if any of that sounds helpful, or if you're just feeling lost and you want to know where to start, go ahead and get signed up with us.
All right. Ms. Miva Harrell, and I'm sorry if I messed up your name. I apologize. I did miss that question. If you could post it again, we'll jump on it. Okay. Can IBS be related to pelvic floor issues? Beverly, that's going to be outside of our lane. That's really something that you need to kind of get with your provider on. From a layman, I don't believe so, but don't take that to the bank. You really need to talk to your provider, okay? Okay. How do I, the Facebook user wants to connect with me. Well, this is that's a perfect segue. So here's what we'll do. We'll put up our referral links here. If you would like to sign up directly with either Cassie or myself, you can sign up with me right there. If you'll go to myveterancoach.com, that'll take you to my bio page, and then you'll be able to sign up with VACI with me as your coach. Okay, so myveterancoach.com. And then Cassie?
Yeah, mine's very similar. So same thing. It'll take you to a page where you can sign up with me, and I'll reach out so we can start chatting about things. But it's theveterancoach.net. You'll see my face there and a fun little video about me. So check it out.
All right. Thanks for posting that question again, Ms. Harrell. What can I do if they erroneously put in records that I had childhood asthma when I claimed asthma and rhinitis? Well, so that's getting a little deep. I don't know. You can always put in a statement into your medical records saying that was erroneous, right? But I want you to also keep in mind that service connection, if you're asking about asthma, for instance, if your military service if you did have childhood asthma and your military service made it worse, then that could be service connected, right? So there are other pathways even to that issue that you're facing. Okay. Roscoe, I'm sorry. Can you put your question up again? Like I said, there are a lot of questions flying past us, and unfortunately we can't grab them all. But if you can post it again, I'll keep an eye out for it here. Okay. And Miss Harrell, Gulf War, so that is a presumptive condition. So, but again, you still have to be able to show that your service made it worse. Okay. Since it sounds like they've already denied you that claim based on a condition that you had prior to your military. Okay. Okay, Roscoe, you want to hit this one, Cass?
Yeah. So Roscoe says he's service connected at 70%, and SSDI for PTSD, knees and back. How can he get a Nexus for my knees and back? So if I'm reading this right, which I'm not sure, you're service connected at 70%. You're not yet service connected for your knees and back is what that's reading like. And how can you get one? You can speak with a medical provider if you're not already signed up with us, which I think you said you are. Chat with your coach about if you need a Nexus letter and the referral doctors that we can link you up with.
Okay. Do you get paid for scars from surgeries? It depends. So scars are service connectable. A lot of times they'll fall at a 0%, but if they're painful or disfiguring, you certainly could get a higher rating than the 0%. Okay. And I'm sorry if we're missing questions, rather than asking in the chat if we saw your question. If we didn't answer it, we probably didn't see it. So just post it again and we'll be happy to try to hit it next time around. Okay. All right. Mark, VA Insider helped me go from 40 to 90%. Man, that's awesome.
That's great.
You are welcome, Mark, man. That's fantastic. Congratulations on that.
Scott Smith has a question. Says, are you guys able to go through medical records and find claims that I may have missed? So just to give you an overview, if you do sign up with a coach, one of the first things we do is say, hey, can you upload your medical records? Because it does help us in developing a strategy or figuring out if you did miss something that you're already dealing with that you didn't know was connectable for you. So definitely. If that's something that sounds helpful for you, get signed up, talk with a coach, or do the free 30-minute call with one of our team members and just ask some of those questions that you might have.
All right. Well, we are coming to the top of the hour. I'll wait for a couple more minutes for any other questions to pop up, but let's go back through the elite program and just kind of give a high-level overview of what that is, what our veterans can expect when they sign up with us. So once you sign up, you'll immediately be assigned to a coach who would reach out to you within 24, 48 hours and give you that initial welcome call. And so you have that touch point. And we also work with a team around us. We have assistants that work with us as well as other coaches. And so you're not getting the knowledge base of one coach. You're actually getting the knowledge base of the entire company because we all come together and walk through these processes with you. So again, you're not getting a coach, you're getting the company behind you. Okay, so again, we have these live classes that we do every day, 3, sometimes 4 classes every day. And it'll be very similar to this. We do a lot of Zoom calls. You'll have one-on-one calls with your coach, with their assistants, but you're never alone in this process. We take you by the hand and walk with you lockstep from the very beginning until we're celebrating with you at the end. Okay.
And I'll add too that, a lot of it is the strategy, the medical evidence, making sure you have everything you need for your claim. But a big part of having a coach to work with you is inevitably there will be denials. And we're here to pick you back up and let you know that, hey, there's another path. We can work through this another way, and it's not the end of the road. So encouragement and just being in community with other folks working through that same frustrating process, that's a big point and a big key factor of, I think, the VA Elite program.
Yeah, absolutely. Dawn asked, is acid reflux the same as GERD? So acid reflux can cause GERD. Okay, so GERD actually stands for gastrointestinal esophageal reflux disease. So the acid reflux itself can cause GERD. Okay. All right.
Patricia asks a good question. Once you're on the docket to go before a judge, which a lot of people are after they push their claims through that process, are you able to pull it back and get help with VA Claims Insider? That's a great question, and you can. You would want to judge if that situation's right for you. If it's been there for a long time, you might have back pay. We don't want that to be risked. But if it seems like it won't be successful anyways, and there's a better pathway, maybe you need more medical evidence, we're here to educate you on that.
Oh, Donnie. Donnie is one of our senior veteran coaches here. He's having a little fun in the chat there. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and start winding down here. Grab this link here in the video. Go ahead and get signed up with us. Again, it's no risk. And if you're ready to hit the ground running with either Cassie or myself, again, my link is myveterancoach.com. If you'll jump over there, sign up through that link, you'll be assigned with me and my team. And then there it is, myveterancoach.com. And if you want to jump over with Cassie, and she is an absolutely amazing coach, you can jump over to theveterancoach.net, and you'll be assigned with her and her team. So, all right, Cass, any parting words for our group today?
Ultimately, just thanks for joining in. I know we do these every Wednesday and we do kind of random topics, but I like that you all come to join in and listen in. I like that our veterans that are part of our program hop in and give us kudos. So we appreciate you for that. So just keep coming back every week to learn more about what we can offer and how we might be able to assist you in the process.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, again, thank you for everybody joining us today. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your continued service, and love you all, and we hope to see you soon. So have a great day.